Hello, my name is Simon Motture. I'm a Nutanix Senior Systems Engineer, and today I'd like to provide a demonstration for you of one of our database products that we call Nutanix Era. In the past, I provided a couple of demonstrations of how Nutanix Era can provide provisioning, as well as copy data management through our time machine. And in the past, you can see my demonstrations where I focused on Microsoft SQL Server databases. Today, we'll be focusing on Oracle database, specifically the patch management capabilities within Era. And so you're going to see us deploying a new Oracle server as well as a clone of an Oracle database so that we can apply patches and then update the production database. We'll be able to do this via software profiles so that we can take advantage of versioning, scheduling, and hit our SLA uptime. So with that, let me jump into the demonstration. I won't spend a lot of time on Nutanix clusters. If you'd like to see information on that, you can check out some of my previous demonstrations. However, I will be reverting back and forth between the Era console and the Nutanix Prism Element console so that we can look at the virtual machines that are deployed in the environment. So with that, let's jump right into the Era console. And the first thing that I want to do in my environment is register an Oracle database with Era. So I'm going to go to the main menu and I'm going to choose database servers, and you can see that we support Oracle, Postgres, SQL Server, MariaDB, as well as MySQL, and many others to come in the future. And so today, the first thing that I want to do is register a database. And what we're going to do in this demo is when we register, it's going to be a version that comes from April, our April PSU VM or patch set updates. And we're going to register it as version 1.0 of our Oracle 19c software profile. And the software profile is a template containing both the operating system and database software and can be used to deploy additional database servers. So let's go ahead and register a new Oracle. And so in this case, I need the IP address of the VM. Well, I have some virtual machines running here that I've pre-built that we're going to use today. One of them is this Oracle base, and its IP address is 192.168.1.151. And so I'm simply going to enter that guy here. Now, as far as the versioning, I'm going to go ahead and choose 19.0.0.0. And for the Oracle user here, this is the Era drive user. I'm simply going to use the user called Oracle. And for my base home, I'm going to be entering some paths here. I sort of built a little cheat sheet, so I'm going to run over to this page here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy into the clipboard this so you don't have to wait for me to manually type in the path for various different things. So this is going to be my Oracle home path. And then, of course, I'm going to also need my grid infrastructure home. So I'm going to come over here and paste that guy in. So I've got both the path for Oracle home and grid infrastructure home. And then, of course, I need a password. And I just want to verify the password I'm using. It's going to have a capital N in it. And so for those of you that don't know, the couple of things, the Oracle Drive user, this can be any user on that virtual machine that has sudo access with no password setting. And so Era will use the user's credential to perform various operations, such as taking snapshots. So I'm going to go ahead and hit register here. And then what we can do, and remember, Era is really designed by DBAs for DBAs to do various different actions like we're talking about today to do patch updates. And one of the very nice things a DBA might want to do is monitor the behavior of the various different tasks that we have going on. So we just told this to register the database. This is going to take a few minutes. And so we'll go ahead and monitor the progress on the operations page. Shouldn't only take but maybe 2 minutes, and we'll wait for this to complete successfully before we move on. And just in case it does take a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording, and I'll come back to it once it has finished. Okay, so we're back from pausing the recording, and as you can see, it took about 2 minutes to register the database. So we're done registering the database, and now I want to move on and create a profile here. So let me show you that from the drop down. If we go ahead and select profiles, and we want to create a new one here. And we're going to select Oracle. And let's see, for the name of this guy, we are going to do, by the way, where is it? Oracle. We're going to choose Oracle Base. And I'm just going to call this one 19C, I believe. All right, so that's all I need to do to create a profile that we're going to go ahead and use, and it's going to grab that, and we're going to say OK to that. Now that we've said create the profile, we can monitor the operations of creating the profile. And again, this is about 22%. Once this completes, we'll be able to see all the various different stages and steps. It's currently working on it. So again, I'm going to pause the recording so we don't have to sit here and just watch the hourglass. And I'll be right back when this completes. Okay, so we're back from pausing the recording, and as you can see, the profile has completed. This profile is what we're going to use as a recap to create additional virtual machines. As you can see, this took about 6 minutes to run, so that's why I paused it for you. So now that that is completed, one of the things I'm going to do is jump over to this virtual machine. I'm actually just going to go ahead and power off this VM. I'm going to do a guest shutdown actually and submit that one and wait for it to complete. We're going to want that virtual machine in an off position for what we're going to do next. And so I'm going to transition now over to creating a database with errors. So what we're going to see here is if I go over to databases, we're going to actually be able to deploy an Oracle database using the previous Oracle 19C software profile that we just created. So here what I want to do is go to sources, and we're going to provision a single node database. Now we can also do cluster database with Oracle RAC here, but for now we're going to go ahead and do a single instance. And so I've chosen my Oracle database engine, if you will. And here I'm going to call this guy Oracle _prod. I'm going to use that 19C profile. And then we're going to use the Oracle small compute extra small. I guess I'll just use this one. VM's Oracle network. And then let's see, high availability. So we're going to enable high availability, and for the password, I'm just going to type Oracle. And then let's see, for SSH, I'm going to go back to this cheat sheet here, and I have the text of my SSH key for when creating my Oracle server, which I'm going to go ahead and use right here and paste that guy in. Okay, so that should take care of that. and click next. So, by the way, by selecting, whoops, let me go back here. By selecting high availability, Oracle Grid is configured now as part of the deployment, and Oracle ASM is actually used for volume manager. So without choosing high availability, the Linux LVM and file system would be used for database storage. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this as required for clustered Oracle rack deployment. So let me just make sure I get everything correct. Create new server, Oracle Prod, 19C, got my compute profile, got my network profile, got my password, and I've got my SSH public key for node access, and I've got my time right. Go ahead and click next. And now what I want to do is enter the rest of the information. I'm going to call this my prod DB. It's going to be my production database. And let's see, I'm going to just call this prod for my SID. Let's see. And for my password, I'm going to use, for system password, I'm going to use for you. All right, so we've got that. And then again, I'm going to choose our parameters profile here. And I think I've got everything else that I want, so I'm going to go ahead and click next. So by the way, for each database engine supported by Error, you do have the ability to run scripts before and after database creation. Some of those common use cases include data masking scripts, register the database with DB monitoring solutions, run a script to update DNS or IPAM, scripts to automate application setups such as app-level cloning for Oracle PeopleSoft, and encryption can be used in situations where compliance requires encryption for enforcing data at rest in the database layer if need be. So now we're in this section for the time machine, and this is the production database time machine. If you want more information on the time machine, check out one of my previous demos where I used the time machine to create clones of a production database down to the granularity of a second in time from various different snapshots with different SLAs. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and choose the gold SLA. It's got a different set of images, daily snapshots per day, and log catch up every 30 minutes. All right. And so now what we're going to do is click provision to begin creating our new database server VM in our prod DB database. And then we'll be able to monitor the operational behavior once we hit go. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and monitor, go back to operations. So first we started by registering our database, then we created a profile, and now we're provisioning a new Oracle database based on that. Now, this is going to take approximately 60 minutes. So again, I'm going to pause this recording and we'll come back to it. And then we'll proceed once the database has been provisioned so that you can check out all of the various different tasks that are going on down here. Once it's completed, we'll come back to that so that you can eyeball it and see what happened. Okay, so the provisioning of the database has completed 100%. Looks like the duration was about 36 minutes, 25 seconds. As we can see, all the different tasks have completed, from creating the virtual machine, creating the Oracle database software, creating the database itself, registering the database, and discovering the disk layout, et cetera, and configuring the time machine in Era. Now, if we go ahead and look inside the Prism console, we'll actually see the production database has been provisioned, see the IP address that's been assigned. So we did that based off of registering this Oracle base. Now, what we're going to do is use this Oracle patch to virtual machine, and we're actually going to apply a patch to it. So I'm going to grab the IP address here, 192.168.1.18, and we're going to run a script against that. So I'm going to move over to this console where I'm actually going to log in an SSH as root to that guy, and enter the password. Okay, so now what I want to do is go to the downloads directory and apply a /RPSU shell script. So okay, so now the script to patch the database is finally completed. It took about 20 minutes to complete. So now I'm going to go back to ERA. It's been so long, I need to log back in. All right. And what we're going to do is go ahead and register that database. So let me go to ERA database servers, come over here to the list view, and what we are going to do is register, and we're going to choose Oracle, next. Now I need the IP address again of the virtual machine. I believe it was the one that we just SSH'd into. But for grins, we're going to log in here. This is the Prism console. Look at virtual machines, go to the next page, look for the Oracle patch, this one, which is 192.168.1.18, which should be the same one that we went into here. Yep. So what we're going to do is 1.8. All right. Database version. And we're going to select this one and CLE for our ERA drive. User, database home. And here again is where I'm going to cheat and use one of my little scripts here. We're going to use this path, and for the grid we are going to use this one here. And password credentials, password, and this password is going to be, I just want to verify I didn't type it wrong. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and click register. Now, should be able to monitor the progress of this guy as well. So within the ERA, we want to monitor the registration process. So again, this registration process could take just a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording until this process is completed. Okay, so I've unpaused the recording, and we can see that the registration of the database is now completed 100%. So now let's go ahead and take a look at profiles. and look at software and our 19C. And then if we go to Oracle Database Software, we can see the various different patches that are installed. So one of the things that you'll notice about Era is inside this software profile, we can observe that Era provides complete introspection into the packages installed within the operating system, including the database software and the grid software. And so note, we can see the patches found under database software here. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a new version. And we're going to go ahead and call this one, actually I have got this over here, so I'm going to cheat just for the sake of time so I don't have to keep typing. I'm going to copy that to the clipboard and just paste that guy right here and hit paste. So this is going to be Oracle 19C, and I think I can take off. I can just leave this over here. Yep, there we go. All right. So we're going to create a new profile, call it 19C, based on that one. Go ahead and hit create. Oops, my bad. Based on the patched one. All right. Now, should be able to go to profiles. Oops. So now we can go ahead and monitor the creation of this profile. If I go to here at operations, so we can see that the profile is being created. It's currently at about 22%. This again is probably going to take 5, 6, 7 minutes. So again, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording for just a second. Okay, so I've unpaused the recording, and we can see that the creation of the policy has completed successfully, and we can see the amount of time that it took to run those last processes, roughly about 7 minutes. So now what we want to do is go ahead and look at the profiles here, and we want to check out the Oracle 19C profile. And we see that we now have a 2.0 version that has the description in it that I put in earlier, the October 19th PSU for the Oracle 19C. So one of the things that we're going to need to do before we can apply patches to the production database is we're going to have to publish this profile. Otherwise, Era is not going to show the version as available or recommended for update. So what I'm going to do is go in here and say update and say published. Next, and just say update. So now that this guy is published, now we can go ahead and take care of that, and we'll be able to utilize it for what we want to do next. So let's go ahead and look at our database servers here. And we want to list them out. And we want to specifically look at this Oracle prod database server. And if I just go ahead and click it, we can see here all the information that's available, but under profiles for 19C software, and specifically profile version, we can see that the current one is this one, the 1.0, and this is the second one that's recommended. So it's telling us that it understands that there's an update that's available, so we can actually go ahead and click update. We can actually choose to do this update now, or we do have the ability to schedule patching out an application and allowing you to select a predetermined maintenance window. So for clustered database deployments, Era supports rolling updates and ensuring database accessibility throughout the update process. And for now, I'm just going to go ahead and say patch. And again, we can go ahead and monitor the behavior. So the patch process has begun. Got quite a ways to go. It's probably going to take about 25 minutes or so. So I'm going to pause the recording one more time on this. And once it is completed, I'll go ahead and unpause and we'll take a look at where we're at in just a few minutes. Stand by. By the way, one of the things that is happening during this patching process, Era will gracefully bring down the database and the grid services. It will shut down the virtual machine, and it will replace the relevant virtual disks with thin clones from the 2.0 software profile and bring the database server back online. So we'll come back to this once this process is completed. Okay, so I've unpaused the recording. As we can see, the patching is 100% completed, all the post-processing and so on and so forth, and we can see the duration of time that took us a little over 25 minutes, which is why I've been pausing and unpausing this recording. Now what I'd like to do is I've opened up a terminal session. I'd like to SSH into that virtual machine as the user Oracle, and I'm going to go ahead and oops, hope I didn't fat finger that guy. Good. And then I am going to copy this command and type it in. And we should be able to see the patches that were just applied. So today's date is Monday, April 20th, and so we can see that the patches have been applied. So with that, definitely want to thank you for your time and remind you some key takeaways. The software profiles that we've been using, they can be versioned and used to deploy consistent updates to existing database servers and also simplify the patching process, reducing the amount of manual patching needed in an environment, and scheduling updates can be used to hit change windows or SLA uptime windows. So again, I'd like to thank you for your time. My name is Simon Motture. I'm one of the senior systems engineers with Nutanix, and this has been a demonstration of Nutanix Era with the patch management capabilities. Thank you again for your time.